Sorry, that's in Burbank. So that's our actual opening balance as of January 1st, 2015. And then if you will go all the way down, you will see that I have added in property personal tax refunds for $245.61.
And that's all of them.
That's all of it. So that took our budget, our expenses, they changed, I didn't make them in blue, but they should have been. Anyway, right now, through the year for the projected budget, we would end with $616.66. So those are the only two changes other than changing the amount the expenses came to. Okay? And I looked at all of everything else and we're in pretty good shape. Within reason. There will probably have to be some more adjustments made further on, depending upon the utilities and that, but basically we're still well within what we projected. The financial review, I've got to get that done. Books are sitting there, and I haven't taken them in yet. I will try to get that done this month. Get them down to Midway.
And that's what we call the audit or whatever, it's really.
It's just a review.
Yeah.
Any questions? Yes, we do. Okay.
I move that we adopted the projected budget for 2015.
You're running out.
You're going to make this a long night for me, aren't you? Back yourself up to the table, right? Stay between Jim and Patty. Right this minute. Beth, move to the second.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Jason.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Okay. And then the year-end financial review, like I said, I will, they're sitting there, I just simply have not had time to bundle everything up, get it organized, and take it down together. She's finished with the fire department, so I'll get sewer, water, and the village into her to look at. And there was something that flashed. I can't remember what it was. So when that's back, I'll let you know. Okay?
Okay, water project.
Back to public
Well,
comments.
pardon me? We've made progress. It just feels like, I'm sorry. You're not ready for me.
No, go ahead. That was me.
Okay. We have moved forward. The draft engineering report is in good shape. They sent it back, and we responded and sent it back and all that stuff. And so then what they're waiting on are the easements. And I'm waiting for one more document from the lawyer to get those. But there'll be, I think, 8 of those when we get done. So I think we're moving forward. And once those are in, then they can send it through, and we can actually get approval from DNR and rural development, and if Green Hills needs it, I'm not sure. But anyway, so moving forward.
Thank you.
So,
Thanks to lots of people.
So Beth, the easements, that's all working out work?
Well, I have easements for the other side of the road. I haven't gotten them signed yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not on the, not kind of on the same subject, but I heard someone said that PW2 was raising the rate
I asked that
for
question. If you
new
didn't hook up.
hookups if you don't get into the project. Do you know anything about?
Well, someone had mentioned that to me, and so at the meeting on Monday night, which was the second Monday of the month, I guess it was last week, going together, I asked that specific question both beforehand with Roxanne, the clerk, and then I asked it again at the meeting, and they hadn't had any discussion of it. It hadn't even been a topic of discussion.
So it's still 1,500.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah. I guess it was Jim with the bug in my ear.
I had heard it too.
Well, I don't
and
doubt
just
you heard,
wanted
but I mean,
to- yeah, I just didn't know.
I think she would have said, well.
That would have
she's-
been something they would have had to decide in the
Yeah,
meeting.
she did
so.
say that they had done a survey of what others are, but they hadn't taken any action or had it on the agenda. And I haven't missed a meeting, so I don't have it on the
Okay,
agenda.
good, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Good question. Question.
Okay, shall we go back up to public comments?
So
Well, we're waiting for Mary Ann, weren't we?
there is no increase on that as it stands right now.
That's right. Do you have public comment?
Public comments? Well, I just wanted to say that that it's been fun experience coming to the meetings and stuff, and and the whole politics of our little village and all that stuff. But I think we've made some good progress. And I want to say that we appreciate the fact that you guys were open to listening to us, and really we feel like that you're understanding and wanting to understand where we're coming through, that we can all work together as a community, and especially Beth for your support in this easement thing there that actually rescues me and so forth there. And that's basically just what I want to say, is that it seems like that, as we work together and accomplish things, it feels a lot better than when there's kind of a hostile environment where people don't know. And even like last month, when you gave us those easements and stuff, and as we dug into it, it wasn't what we thought, and you commented you didn't understand that either, and so forth. And so as things get kind of sprung on you, and you have to deal with it, but I do appreciate that you're willing to actually work with me in that, and that's basically all I wanted to say.
Thanks.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay, let's go on to the water report. Jan.
Well, basically, since I'm kind of an old water person, the big old water, with no contact with Wally and no phone calls from Cook saying we have a problem, my side of the street's been really quiet, so it's been really kind of nice.
Just a little input here. If we don't miss any more spill days, we get our full spring break, so you make sure that water does not go off.
We knew it was your fault.
I do not want to miss another day.
This is like the first time in quite a while that water actually got that off.
Somebody knock on wood, would you?
Yeah.
Very quiet, been very quiet.
But, yeah.
Go ahead, Jane.
And I will, Cook, he showed me too the current for the last reading, and it's encouraging because our water bill is lowered. The amount of water that's used, meaning that the amount that we had to pay is lowered, and that's always
Less
Good.
leaks.
Thank you.
Fewer leaks.
Yeah.
So, good to know.
So do we still need a new water company?
If you want water.
Yeah.
You want no water.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to have boil orders every
Yeah.
Oh,
week,
yeah.
and now we
Yeah.
haven't had one since we started the project. So
I know, isn't it great
It was
though?
last winter.
Patty, I do have one more thing that I'd like to,
Okay.
because I think the board needs to know. Oh, I'm supposed to bring you something else. Okay. The Davies 2 had offered, because they have this new computer system that they're going to be putting together in Jameson, and they're designating it Jameson so it doesn't get confused with the rest of the stuff. And they have offered to print our sewer bills on that as well. And I've talked to Jim about it, and what it would do, they would have everybody pay them for all of it, and then they would send us a check. But then I've talked to Jim quite a bit, and it gets mixed up with when we cut off our sewer, because they don't pay their sewer bills, so they're gonna do that. And the board can decide, and I'll give you more information, but my recommendation is Jim's recommendation, which is that we continue to do the sewer here, because it comes on your water bill, and you got a sewer problem, you're probably gonna call Davies 2, and they're not the sewer people. I just think it'd be very confusing to customers to not, and I just think, and I also think it's good to hang on your own money.
And if you're willing to keep doing it,
And they have agreed to, they asked what format, they first asked for our account numbers, Jim and I giggled, because we just use our names here, we don't have 0127 or whatever it is. And so they're going to they've offered to send a monthly list of the name and what their water usage was. And so Jim said he would do the calculations on that and continue to send the bills,
oh,
if that's okay with the.
So we'd be getting two bills, one for
One water, one
for the sewer, and one for the
Mhm.
water.
Personally, I think they need to be separated
I do
because
too.
this
yeah,
is
it's
another.
added confusion.
Yeah. Okay, so can we use that in the motion so I can?
Sure.
I move that after the new water system's in place, that Jameson continue to do their own sewer billing and period.
Do I have a second for that?
Period. I was gonna say something else, and I thought, well, that's really all I need.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No.
Thanks, Jim.
It's gonna be.
And I need
Good
one.
job, Jim.
You guys,
Appreciate your time.
I brought several months ago this document from their lawyer that had all the easements on it that they wanted. And, it was not all easements, it was the streets and alleys for Jameson, and I don't think we approved it at that meeting, and I didn't bring the copies tonight, but we didn't have any negative discussion about it that night. So it's just the streets and alleys, so when they use it, yeah, I would. If you trust me to do that,
I think we can trust you.
Yeah, I mean, we've looked at it once before, but I just didn't bring it tonight. So it would be a motion to approve the required easement for streets and or actually, we're turning over the streets and alleys for the water system, to Davies
Oh,
two
yeah,
for
okay,
the,
I do
for the operation.
Okay,
It
we
was
wanna know
about
that.
4 pages.
Because they won't be responsible for the streets and alleys, so we're giving them the right of
The,
way.
the
How'd they refer to it?
access, I think it's
Access, okay.
to all of the streets and alleys within the village limits, because that's where the water
To
lines.
put in the new
Right.
system.
But then
yes.
they'll have to keep it to maintain them. I mean, it's the same
Yeah.
fucking easement.
Do all of the homeowners know where the alley is and where their property ends and where the alley begins? And
My guess would be no, but we're working on that, and that,
that there are supposed to be alleys behind.
right,
or
alleys are,
between-
all the alleys are 16 feet wide. I mean, your trailer's right across an alley. I know you didn't put it there, but I mean, but not everybody's always known where they are, you know, when the people own that place, the trailer. But the alleys are 16 feet wide, and the streets are all 70 feet wide, except Main Street and Chestnut, which is the one by the Christian Church, and up there. Those are 80 feet wide. So Jim and I went out the other day because the water line is in the alley, you know, right behind this building, or, you know, by the museum and down. And I'm clear onto Maple Street, which is what we used to call the dirt road by the school, you know. And it's kind of got a curve in there, but we just tried to get an estimate of where the middle of the road was, because that's where the sewer lines are, and they have to be at least 10 feet from the sewer lines to put the water lines in. That's a requirement. And so we just eyeballed it. But again, with the easement documents that we're getting, it's unclear right now to me. And so I haven't talked to anybody other than Mary Ann, and she's talked to the lawyer, whether he was clear that it isn't the middle of the street. Property owners tend to think that we own the middle of the street. Frankly, I thought we owned the middle of the street, but apparently we only own to the edge of this road, edge of the street. But then he kind of did some bibbidi boop about it. Your property line is your fence line, and of course most of us.
Well, no, he made the also, he said, assuming that your fence line is your property line, because he made it clear that it was your property line.
Yeah, it is your property line wherever it is. But in town, of course, we don't have fences, and so if it's the side of the road, that's where it is.
But it isn't, see, that's what the clarification was, is I thought it was between the road and the property line. That's what I thought the easement said. But it actually isn't, it's 20 feet in from the property.
Right.
Into it, and the line will be put 10 feet in, but the easement is 20 feet for inside the property line,
Right.
wherever that is. So.
Right. Yeah.
Is that the same on the alley then that you're saying? I mean, is it just the
It's
ones where
10
they're
feet
running?
from the center of the alley. So, well, it's 10 feet, and then they'll want a temporary, I think 20 feet, so they can park equipment in there.
Is that only where they're running? It's not like if something's, I mean, there's a lot of alleys and
No,
stuff
no,
here.
it's
that
just
aren't
on
even-
the alley. It's
Right,
about a
okay.
block and a half of alley.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
You got it.
Okay.
Up to the table.
I'm sorry that I didn't have that on my list, Patty.
I have a motion
Thank
on
you.
the floor.
Oh, and the
Oh, I'll
sewer.
second
All in favor?
I,
that.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Anything else, ma'am? While you're
no,
thinking
I'm
about it?
sorry, thank
That's
you.
okay.
I may need to bring that to you to sign or see.
Yeah.
I need a copy of this one.
Everything's pretty quiet right now.
Oh, wait a minute, back up to the
Except,
water. What's your balance on the water? Oh, you're doing that now, aren't you? I've got so lost going on. Are you still giving water report, or are you doing sewer now?
It's nine,
He's getting
here's the water,
Okay.
$9,196.78.
Thank you.
I have never seen our water that high.
Balance.
I think you can-
91, 96, 78.
Yeah.
We had 11,000 miles.
Thank you.
Pay attention to the
Yeah.
I paid extra last month, so
2,000.
Thank you.
You all right?
Okay.
Did you get the,
Yeah, I do. So I don't know if you're still doing water, or have you moved to sewer?
yeah,
You're moving to sewer. Okay,
You're
I
moving
have
to sewer?
this stuff for sewer. Okay.
it's $4,683.78.
76,
Eight.
78, 78. Dude, that's lower than I thought it was.
Well, I just made a big deposit too,
Okay. So you put some in there,
yeah.
and that doesn't include the insurance, all right.
Uh,
Leave you alone.
no, the insurance is took out.
Okay, it is, okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right, you wanna go first, or you want me to go first?
Go
You
ahead.
want to talk
I
about the
figured you
station?
knew me go
Go
first.
ahead.
Okay, I have Jason's report first. And Jason said the only thing I have that there will be a very high probability of algae. The blooms have already started. I have been in contact with my bug supplier to prevent the problem before it gets started. It will cost $500 to stop the problem. I don't know if the village has the money or not. I can order when I order everybody else's and just bill the village for it. This will help especially with the new DNR regulations on ammonia. The lagoons have to stay clear of algae. The total cost for the bugs would be $502.97, including my discount, and that's a once-a-year fix. So the first thing we need to talk about is the algae that is going to be blooming in the
He's done
lagoons.
such a good job of keeping it looking great. I think he knows what he's talking about.
And I don't think we have a choice. I mean, we have to meet those requirements and just get a jump on it.
He took care of it a couple of years ago when it was really bad there.
Mhm.
Got rid of it.
Duckweed.
Yeah.
If we're good with that, we need a motion to approve Jason purchasing the bugs. Jason's giving us the bugs.
Bugs, like, what kind of
For
bugs?
$500.97.
They're a live bacterial agent is basically what it is.
Oh, it's not actually a bug.
It's not actually a
It's
bug, it's a bacterial
like-
agent that they
Okay.
put in the water. That,
To clear
I
up.
mean, if you had a microscope, yeah, you could see it's a bug, but it's a live bacterial agent.
Okay,
So I moved the approval of the $503-ish for the fix to the lagoons.
Have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Okay, and that's for the bugs. Got it. Okay, that's Jason's report. Now then, you can start on the lift station. Leave Jim alone.
He hasn't done his sewer yet. Do you have any sewer yet?
That's what she's doing.
How was that? Go for it. You can do lift station first.
Yeah, you got all the stuff.
Jim and I went down to the lift station the other day, just for the fun of it, because we love going down. Did you tell them we have the new covers? Have you reported that we have the new, see?
Well, I'm not done.
Good, I know. Okay, so here's the thing. We were talking about the guy up in Iowa. And I dug back in our records, and I thought it was 2012, but it turns out we had the gentleman from Marceline come out in 2010. Remember when the big lift station was knocking and there was just this horrible, too much stuff. Leave it alone. I have to stop. I want you to settle down, and I want you to behave now, and I don't want any more. We're doing business here, and you need to behave yourself. You heard me. So I contacted the guy Marceline, and we took some photos. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to tell much from the photos. He did say that he sent an email. He says, based on what we can see from the pictures, it's very hard to determine what needs to be done. We think it could possibly be a contactor or a thermal overload. What we would like to do is bring some parts that we think it might need and diagnose the system. To come to the village and bring the contract and the overload, you will be looking at approximately $780. If it requires different parts, it will require an extra trip. So he has an estimate of at least $780.
And that's Marceline.
Their name is Smith Electrics, Electric Motor Works, and they're in Marceline. We used them on the big lift station in 2010. And he put in, what did he put in? He put in bearings and a circuit board then, and I think he charged us, what did I tell you, $458 or something when I looked the information up. We were pleased with the work he did. Obviously, the lift station is not good again, running. The lift station is running well. So it really boils down to whether we can get the guy in Iowa to commit to an estimate, which so far we have not. And this one, I can try calling him, Jim can try calling him again and asking him if he will at least try and give us an estimate on how much the repairs would cost. But I don't know what to tell you. My gut says we should go with the guy in Marceline, but I don't like the price.
And where in Iowa is the other person?
Des Moines.
So he's further up, he's further away.
Which is
So
why
mileage
it
is
cost
gonna
us
be-
$150 when it came down the last time on travel expense. That part of the bill was just for travel, $150.
So we tried to get an estimate from him. and he
Jim has
just
talked to him a
hasn't
couple of
responded.
times, but we haven't actually received an estimate. We received the maintenance agreement that he wanted to do. He sent a maintenance agreement, which is fine, but that doesn't help us with the one motor is still not working.
And that might not be the problem, the parts he brings, it might be the motor,
It could be.
we don't know yet.
So we're kind of rolling the dice on this. The guy in Iowa didn't seem to say, well, I know exactly what it is, but we can try that again. I mean, I don't rule out calling him one more time and talking to him and seeing if he'll commit to something. But I'm uncomfortable with, here's our maintenance agreement, go ahead and sign this, and then we'll figure out what's going on down there at the lift station. I think it should be the other way. Let's figure out what the problems are at the lift station, and then we'll work on a maintenance agreement. So, that's just my opinion. Jim and I have talked about it. We have to fix that motor, as we just discussed at the last meeting. The motor has to be fixed.
Yeah, and it's been a strain just having one, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
because they usually alternate.
Yeah, so it's running hard on that one
So
motor.
I
that's
think we need to
working.
get it done this month. I wouldn't wait another month to have
Yeah,
a
I don't
discussion
think-
about it and make a decision, and then, you know, if more time goes by. I think Jim likes it. It doesn't bother him anyway.
Yeah, I don't think we wait on the guy from Des Moines. If the guy from Marcelin's higher, you know, we've used him
Yeah,
as.
we know he does good work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did. No, we were very pleased.
Yeah, that's what comes to my mind. We've used him and we can rely on him. He seems to be up front, from what you just said.
Yeah, he had, he also has a maintenance agreement. He talked to us about it in 2010, but at that time, if you remember right, we didn't have an extra dime in the sewer department, so there was no way we could even look at a maintenance. Jim and I both feel that the maintenance agreement is a necessity, but a little bit further down the line.
Yeah, and this person who wants to sell us the maintenance agreement doesn't want to give us an estimate. That doesn't speak very
Yeah,
well to
that's
me
not,
about
yeah,
their
exactly.
credibility. So I would move that you contact and proceed with the Marceline supplier for the repair on the lift station.
Have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. What else you got, Jimmy?
I better report on the bids.
I already did that for you.
Okay.
I did. We got new lids.
There's, down here at the lift station, there was a lid on there that said water, which was wrong. So when they put the sewer system in, they used the water lid. They put one up here at the Baptist church too, so we had to change them to sewer. So, DNR seen that, we've been in trouble. Okay.
Let's fix it before they do.
That's good.
And they weren't very bad. They cost, how much did you tell me? I don't remember. How much?
They were in
How much were they?
Your arm's bleeding.
Yeah, she scratched.
I ain't dying.
Get a workers' comp thing here.
Yeah, no.
Just kidding.
Well, you could just trade places.
Get your foot out. Get it out, all the way out. This is why you don't get left alone. Don't do it again. You need Band-Aids? I carry
No.
them.
No,
You sure?
yeah.
You're just gonna think
Yeah,
you're
leave
beaten
them
up by a woman. Here. All right,
Okay. So then we
all right.
Is that it for the sewer department?
We got
Yeah,
one.
thanks.
Okay, insurance.
All right, the insurance. I have, we talked about increasing the coverage on the public official liability coverage.
Right.
It will cost us $45 more a year. We're paying approximately $878 a year for 300,000 public official liability coverage. It's now $923 a year for 1 million in coverage rated correctly. So it's only $45 more than what we've been paying. So that kind of makes it a no-brainer. And since sewer is gonna pay a portion of that, it's even better.
Any
So
discussion?
that's another one we need to,
I move we accept the insurance as was presented to us at the last meeting as described by Denise here, was in our report that we passed around.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Motion
pass that
passes.
will leave that a second.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Clerk hiring, do we have applications?
We do not,
Well,
You mean none turned in, or?
that's correct,
nobody applied.
that's right.
But did you get the applications ready? Because last time you were talking about the.
Yeah, we've been advertising, and they're in the post office and
Oh, they
they're
are? Okay.
online at 2 different places and on
Not
Facebook
that
and also
I'm,
on
not
the
that I'm
website.
volunteering for another job, but
Okay,
yeah.
there, and there was an ad in the paper and in the
Okay.
shopper, so, I mean, if you want me to advertise more, I'll do whatever you say, but we don't have it. I think the way we're
Word
gonna
of
get
mouth.
employ, yeah, that's what we need to be doing, is word of mouth, talking to people that we think I'd be interested in, want to help the community, so.
Well, I think what the problem might be is when we see the list of everything that's done for the amount of money that's being paid. I don't know. What to tell you about that. So,
Well, I
money's
believe that the
not
list,
next month, so
Yeah.
we need to do something.
I believe that the list is accurate, but I understand what you're saying about, maybe if Denise knew how much it was, she wouldn't have taken it either, and so we.
You lied to me.
Sort of did a bait, I wasn't on board. We did a bait and switch, that now we got you, and now you owe on this and this and this. So I'd rather be upfront about it, but again,
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have a
Yeah.
problem with it, I just do
Yeah,
want
it
to
is.
know what it involves, because it is a
Yeah.
lot of work.
yeah. And I think that there's a perception that because of some of the sort of upheaval we've had here in meetings, time, that Denise gets asked by us to answer the questions, then a lot of it's focused on her, and I think we as board members need to be better prepared and answer those questions, because we're the ones who pass the ordinances, and obviously we're gonna have to be when the clerk changes, because probably whoever we get as a clerk is not going to have those, and so I hope that hasn't, scared people away.
Can I ask something about that too? Okay, believe it or not, I was able to print off of Paul, the application. You don't know how big that is for me. Anyway, but
I thought you were applying for the job.
But
First step.
one question I'm asking, and this would have to be with Jim's approval and all that type of thing. But if, for instance, let's say that somebody takes on this job, has a full-time or a part-time job, and if that's the case, for instance, overseeing the village roads, if they can't do that, can you do that, Jim?
Well, I thought we changed it so it really does, it addresses the,
It's still listed in there because, well, what it boils down to is no matter what
How much
Jim
money you got.
decides, the clerk is going to be responsible for
For
the
the
billing,
billing.
for
Right.
the
Exactly.
for contact and
Right.
that type
But not
of
the
thing.
money
They
organizing.
organize.
Right.
But
okay,
as far
okay,
as going
but
out
yeah.
look at potholes,
Yeah,
Think about the
okay.
potholes, yeah.
And so I don't know if, that's
That
just what I
scares
want to
people
make
off.
sure he's still willing to do that, he's still willing to go out and be paid to do it, your
Yeah, we
hourly
would love it.
wage. But,
Don't miss me.
to identify what problems needs to be done and, and that type of thing. Because when I read this, I wasn't sure if it meant strictly that they were the ones that had to do it alone or, and I know you often are with them, but I thought, realistically, if somebody has a part-time job, they may not have time to do this part. So that's what I wanted to